So I'm not even going to do any fancy editing on this video. We're just going to get right into it. The Las Vegas Raiders just got absolutely obliterated and embarrassed by one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers, who just put a quarterback in 5 days ago who hasn't been a starter in the NFL in over a year. Now, that's not to say that Andy Dalton doesn't deserve to be a quarterback, because Andy Dalton should have been the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers from the very beginning, because he is clearly a better quarterback than Bryce Young. With that being said, though, the Raiders defense came out looking absolutely flat-footed. We could not stop a grandma from pushing a shopping cart across the street with that defensive line, and the secondary looked just as bad today. It was a big fat L for the defense. But is everything on the defense today? Well, no, because the offense came out looking even worse. Despite one play to Trey Tucker for a 52-yard pickup, the rest was anemic at best. We were continuously just running the ball up the middle, getting 1 yard, and then we would do it again and get 1 yard, and then we would throw a wide receiver screen pass behind the line of scrimmage and get 1 yard and go 3 and out. So I think at this point we've seen 3 weeks of Luke Getsy's offense and Antonio Pierce's strategy that has not worked. The only thing that has worked is when we've opened it up in the fourth quarter. Now, Gardner Minshew threw an interception, and I don't know if it was Davante Adams' fault, if he was supposed to just turn and stop there, or if Gardner Minshew just simply did what Gardner Minshew does and throw the ball 2 to 3 yards one side or the other off target, because he doesn't have the most talented arm and he's very inconsistent when it comes to his passes. But what we did see is a couple of bright spots for the Las Vegas Raiders. The first and foremost bright spot that was DJ Glaze coming in. Now, DJ Glaze did give up a sack on Aidan O'Connell in the fourth quarter when Aidan came in. But it was really just one of those situations where Aidan maybe held onto the ball for just a bit too long, and DJ Glaze's guy was able to get off of him. But for the most part, when Thayer Munford went down, DJ Glaze came in and he played really solid football. Not the best. He's not an all-star. He's not a pro bowler, but he did play better than what we've seen Thayer Munford play in the first 2 weeks of the regular season. The next bright spot was we did see JPJ come into the game. Finally, this kid is getting into the game, and he played pretty decent. Again, nothing flashing. He's just playing left guard. Do your job. Do a good job. That's all that's to be expected. But the great thing is we did get to see him go in. Had a scary moment during this game where we had a head-to-head collision with our star Brock Bowers, and he had to go into the tent, get a concussion protocol. Now, he came back into the game. That does not mean that he's out of concussion protocol, and so we will have to hold our breath and wait and see if he gets put fully into concussion protocol and has to miss next week's game. Hopefully not. It looked like he was fine. He got up. It just looked like when the helmet-to-helmet happened, that his helmet got out of whack, and he was just trying to put his helmet back to the way it should be. And so because they seen him sitting on the ground doing that, they had to pull him off, take him in the tent, give him an examination. We'll get further information on that. So just let's pray that Brock Bowers is going to be okay. Davante Adams dropped a couple of balls in this game. He got a couple of really difficult balls as well. One was 100% on Gardner Minshew, just threw the ball way too high. He caught the ball, and then when it was coming, he was trying to bring it back down into his body. That gives the defender time to get up and swipe the ball away from Davante Adams. Incomplete pass. Another one, Davante Adams, again, is thrown into traffic, but this is one that was in the bucket. Davante had it in his hands. You just got to bring it in, and you got to just go down and secure the ball. He didn't do that. The ball was knocked out, incomplete pass. So Davante did not have his A game today. And to be honest, it looked like the Carolina Panthers were, the best in the league. Now, The Carolina Panthers are one of the worst teams in the NFL offensively, but they actually were a top 4 defense last year. And so they're still looking like they have some good potential there at defense on that team. So I didn't expect the Raiders to just run ramshot over the Carolina Panthers, but to have the Carolina Panthers do what they did, 7 sacks on the day, our offensive line and our quarterback play has just not lived up to the bill. And I think at this point, there's got to be some major changes. I think DJ Glaze should become the starter. I've been calling to see him in a real live action game. He got that opportunity today, and he played great. I think JPJ getting in there is great. I want to see him get more playing time and hopefully become the starter of this team. But this offensive line is still bad. The other point is Gardner Minshew, Minshew Mania, the mustache man, the used car salesman, the van life guy, did not play well at all today. And this is what I've been saying to all of my brothers and sisters out there in the Raider Nation who are on the Minshew Mania wagon. Gardner Minshew has always been and will always be an erratic quarterback. He will have one good play, like the one to Trey Tucker, even though during the game, like I said, if he'd have thrown that ball 2 seconds earlier, hit Trey Tucker in stride, that was going to be a touchdown. But Trey Tucker had to wait for that ball, and so as soon as he catches it, I mean, he's getting tackled. But he had already had massive separation before that ball was ever launched. It should have been launched earlier. Other than that, Gardner Minshew looked absolutely indecisive, scared, and just beside himself. He didn't know what he was doing out there. He would jump around, happy feet, and then because he doesn't know what to do, he just takes off running off to his right. And every defense in the NFL knows when Gardner Minshew holds onto the ball for more than 2 seconds, he's going to run to his right. So all the linebackers have to do is just run to their left, and they're going to get Gardner Minshew in their hands. What does Gardner Minshew do when he runs to his right? Does he make big plays? Do we end up scoring touchdowns when he does that? No. 90% of the time, he throws the ball into the dirt or in incomplete pass 10 yards out of bounds. That's his norm. So we were all sold on this bill that he's the guy with experience. He's the big playmaker. He's the guy with mobility. And Aidan O'Connell is not going to be able to get it done. Aidan O'Connell is a statue in the pocket. Aidan O'Connell is not a good quarterback. Aidan O'Connell is trash. He's garbage. He's a dumpster fire. I've heard all those comments. And I've been saying, we don't know what Aidan O'Connell is unless you give him a full season to know. Gardner Minshew's had full seasons at the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as last year at Indiana, was pretty much a full season for him. We know who Gardner Minshew is. We don't know who Aidan O'Connell is yet. We know he has potential. Fourth quarter, I understand it's garbage points, and everybody's going to make this excuse. Oh, it's garbage points. The Carolina Panthers, their defense had already given up. You can say that all you want. What Aidan O'Connell did is he came in, he took command of that offensive line. He took command of that offense, that huddle, and he drove down 75 plus yards and scored a touchdown. Yes, he had one bad pass that had the linebacker not dropped, it could have been a pick. But you've seen something in Aidan O'Connell in one drive that you did not see in Gardner Minshew. Quick decisions and zip on the ball. Gardner Minshew's throwing up ducks. He's taking forever to make his mind up where he's going to throw the ball. Aidan O'Connell is getting the ball out of his hands quicker. The ball comes out of his hand zippier, and it gets to the receiver quicker. And we score a touchdown. This could have been a completely different game. Gardner Minshew got sacked like 6 times. Let's say Aidan O'Connell still got sacked 6 times. At least Aidan O'Connell has a better arm. At this point, Antonio Pierce, you need to make a decision. You put this kid in last year, and he's half the reason you got your job. You put him on the bench for a guy named Gardner Minshew, who everybody knows in the NFL is a backup quarterback at best. Now I just want to talk about Luke Getsy for half a second here. Luke Getsy's offensive play calling is absolutely disgusting. It is immoral. It is unethical. It is abuse of the Raider Nation. It should be a felony. His play calling is so bad that he got fired by the Chicago Bears and came to the Raiders and did the exact same thing. And it's ugly. And it's unimaginative. And it's not effective. You know who else is not effective? Zamir White. I've been saying this for 3 weeks now. I was hopeful that he would make a big turn in his career. He'll get you a couple of plays if he gets enough touches, but the majority of them are going to be 1-yard gainers, and he's tackled. Now, Alexander Madison didn't do a whole lot better, but Alexander Madison did make some big plays simply because he was out there on the field. And he got the ball thrown to him and was able to pick up some first downs. Zamir White, nothing. To be honest, I think at this point, Dylan Laube needs to get a shot. I think that Dylan Laube should get a shot and Alexander Madison should be running back 1. Let me guys know down in the comments below how you guys feel about this game, how you feel about everything that went on today. Do you think Aidan O'Connell should be QB1 after this game? If you think Aidan O'Connell should be QB1, drop AOC in the comments. If you think it's still Minshew Mania, drop GM in the comments. And we'll just see how the Raider Nation's feeling. Like and subscribe to me, Raider D Podcast, if you get any value out of what we do, because we put a lot of work into this, man. And you know, it's hard to keep going. It is. It's hard to keep making these videos when your team is terrible like this. But I keep making them because I don't make them for the team. I'm making them for you guys. So if you get value, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.